So today we are going to see a demo of creating the directory buckets and also uploading the objects to the directory buckets. So first let me get into the introduction of directory bucket. Directory buckets uses S3 Express One Zone storage class, and the application that benefits using this directory buckets are that require single digit millisecond latencies. Now let's get back to the demo. So first we will create the bucket. As you see now we have two tabs available, general purpose buckets and directory buckets. So first we have to navigate to the directory bucket tab and click create bucket button. Now we need to specify certain configurations. So first we have to select the AWS region and then the bucket type. You have to choose the availability zone also. Now we need to acknowledge that in the event of availability zone outage, the data might not be available or lost because the directory bucket store the data across multiple devices within a single availability zone. It will not store the data in multiple availability zones, right? So if this availability zone that we have chosen, that is US W2-AZ1, if that availability zone faces a disaster or an outage, the data will not be available or lost. So that is what we have acknowledged here. Now let's specify the bucket name. The bucket name consists of two parts, base name and availability zone. So let's specify the base name, my AWS bucket 1234. So this is the full bucket name that is getting generated. You need to know the ownership of this bucket also. ACLs are disabled, the access control list are disabled for the directory buckets, and all the objects in the bucket are owned by this account, and access to the bucket and objects are specified only through policies, bucket policies. Also, the objects are not publicly accessible, that access is being blocked. So for directory bucket, the settings specified for the block public access settings, that is switched on, which indicates that the objects are not available outside or they are not available for the public access. Now let's get into the server side encryption settings. All the objects that are uploaded to the directory buckets are encrypted using the Amazon S3 managed keys. So these are the configurations. Now let's click the create bucket button. That would create the bucket for us. See, our bucket is created now. Now let's get into this particular bucket and upload an object. So click on upload. So you can add files. So add file. Now downloads, I'm going to upload an image. So now you'll be able to see that the destination URL is getting generated and the permissions and properties you will be able to see here. So storage class, as you see here, it is selected as S3 Express One Zone. Okay, so the advantage is that it is designed for single digit millisecond response times or latencies. Okay, so now the server side encryption settings is Amazon S3 managed keys. Okay, so we have viewed the properties of this object. Now we'll click the upload button. So as you see here, the upload is successful. Okay, so now we can see the object that is uploaded to this particular bucket. So it has been uploaded successfully and the storage class is S3 Express One Zone. Okay, now let me get to the directory bucket. So if you look at here, we should be able to import the objects also from the general purpose buckets. So all that you need to do is click the import button and specify the general purpose bucket from which you need to import the objects from. And here there are certain conditions. So the source must be in the same region, and the source should be a general purpose bucket. It cannot be a directory bucket. Okay, so you have to click the browse button and you will be able to select one of the buckets from which you can import the objects from. And basically the batch operation will copy the objects, and it supports objects up to 5 GB in size. Okay, and source objects larger than 5 GB will not be included in the batch operation job. Okay, and before objects in the following storage class and archive tiers can be copied, they first must be restored. Okay, that is again another condition. So these restrictions are there, and next is we have to choose a IAM role. So we have to create an IAM role, or you can choose an IAM role. So first we need to specify the source bucket, and also we need to use an IAM role. This IAM role will be used for copying the objects, source objects. It would be used for accessing and copying the objects. So I'm going to create a new IAM role, and now next is the destination bucket, which is our target bucket, or the directory bucket that we have created now. And the copied objects will be added under the S3 Express One Zone storage class. Okay, this is the configuration, and we can actually click the import button and one batch job will be started. Once we have created the bucket and once we have uploaded the objects to it, let's also see how we can delete the objects and how we can delete the bucket. So all that you need to do is click on this bucket, empty the bucket before proceeding with deletion. So it's the permanently delete, that is the thing that we need to type here. Click on empty, and the bucket status is now empty bucket. Now you have to click on the delete button to to proceed with deletion of this particular bucket. Now I would like to show you one more thing. So you can actually create bucket policies for the directory bucket also. So this particular web page will be describing you about the different operations that you can perform on the directory buckets. So there are some example directory policies that is specified here, which you can copy and customize it and add it as the bucket policy also. Okay, so this is the basic demo of the directory bucket creation, and hope you have enjoyed it. Thank you.